Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. This is the last video on trenching, and I guess I wanted to show you kind of the final results of everything. So we're starting here at the house side. I'll show you kind of what we ended up with. So over here, and just kind of for reference, we're kind of on the back side, more towards the east. We came up here and we got a bunch of things here. So we've got our propane stub out. You see that in the with the little T. And what I did here was, I guess for the particulars, we ran a 1-inch poly line. That's going to be the high pressure propane line from the tank to the house and the shop. And so from that, I'm reducing it down to 3/4, and that's going to ultimately connect there to feed the house. And the propane company will make that connection, as they will install a regulator to step it down from 10 pounds to the sub 1 pound pressure, 11 inches of water column, which I think is like half a pound or something like that of pressure for the actual house for all the appliances. Now, one thing I did here was I put a T on this. The idea being that I've got a little 1/2-inch line stubbed out there. That will be a high pressure tap that's available. Reason being is that if I ever want to do like a propane powered pool heater, right, for an in-ground pool, then I've got easy access to where I can tap a 1/2-inch at high pressure, which should be enough to feed it if I did my math right, and then that can get stepped down to with another regulator to the low pressure to actually feed the heater itself. So doing it now and having that provision saves me from having to tear all of this apart if I ever want to do it again, right? So that's a pain in the butt. So these are the things to kind of think about as you're building out your systems. And you can see there we've also got our locator wire for this trench, since all these pipes are plastic. So you need to be able to locate them and remember where they are. So we got the locator wire buried. Next up, we have our clean out for our sewer line. So this goes to the shop all the way over there. And that is for the shop's toilet and sink. So that'll just feed right into the house system and right into the septic. And the last thing here is we have our fiber. And I wasn't exactly sure how to do this. And so this was kind of a last minute decision, because I hadn't planned this far ahead, and I probably should have. But we had our 2 fiber runs coming in underground here, both 1.5-inch pipes to make the pull easy. But then those have to go up into the fiber box here. And that's 1.5-inch pipes up against the wall. Just a lot of bulk, a lot of space, right? And it doesn't look nice. But you got to have big conduits because I'm running pre-terminated fiber. So I can't get away with anything smaller. So I picked up one of these little in-ground junction boxes. Now, it looks like crap. And if you could see the dirt here, you could see my conduit bins and how horrible they are and all the funky angles. It's not the best. It's not my best work, but it was out of necessity. So this will get covered up, because realistically, I'm not going to need to access this except to run new fiber. There's no splices in there. It is just a junction box to transition from 1.5 down to 1 inch. And so you see here, I've got the 3 1-inch pipes coming up. I've got 2 fiber lines coming in, one for the house, one for the shop. And then I ran 3 out as a kind of future proof, to where if I want to add another fiber line, like for video cameras for a chicken coop or something, which is kind of crazy to say out loud, but welcome to my world. I can do that, right? I have the provision. I can just dig my trench into this box for the 1.5-inch for the pull, and then I have a spare conduit right here. So here I ran 3 1-inch conduits up, used unistrut to strap them, and I have them terminated right here. I'm going to do a separate video on fiber, but I have them terminated here, and I did this for reasons that I will discuss in the fiber video. But that's kind of what we did. So that's the house on this side. Let me go over to the other side, and I'll show you the electrical side of things. Electrical. On this, we have 3 conduits. The first one on the left are the main power for the house. That's 2-inch. So the wires are coming up and into this box, and that's the feed through box. I'll do a separate video on the electrical system, kind of finalized, but that feeds that. The box in the middle is or pipe in the middle rather, 3/4 inch. That's going out to my gate to power the 2 circuits for the gate. And again, when I do another electrical video, I'll go over the details of that. But that powers the gate, and then that other 1.5 inch is empty. It's a spare. That is, so if I ever need to run anything else from the shop to the house, either supplemental power or whatever, mainly supplemental power, I have easy access to do that. So that's the house. We'll go to the shop next and we'll walk. It's a beautiful afternoon. The weather's about perfect. So, sorry for the shaky cam. Uneven ground, especially after the rain we had. All the trenches kind of settled a bit, so it's all kinds of fun. Okay, so coming into the shop, here's the power. Similar setup as I just showed you, right? So on the left there, we've got the power coming out of the shop, feeding the house. On the right, we got our spare 1-inch conduit, right, to feed that. Then over here, we've got our fiber conduit, so 1.5 inch coming up, and then into a kind of splitter box. And again, I'll go over fiber details, that and our fiber demarc box. And then here is our propane stub for the shop, and I haven't done anything with that yet. That is just going to get a regulator and a cap for now. Eventually that will feed any propane usage in the shop. I don't know what yet, a forge or something. Main use case is going to be a whole home generator eventually. So, because I want to run that back here, kind of away from the house for the noise. And so that would be able to feed that. So let's go walk up to the gate. I'll show you what the gate looks like. And it's going to be kind of a walk. So don't walk up my drive. Again, sorry for the shaky cam. I'm holding the iPhone in my hand. I guess I should get one of them little handheld gyroscopic stabilizer things. That would be handy, but I warned you this was low budget. I guess, bonus for this video, I'll show you propane too, because we got the propane tank set. Since we're going that way. Now I need to fill dead air. I don't know how to fill dead air. How are you, YouTube? You guys having a good day? I hope so. There's the propane tank. We opted for a 1,000-gallon propane tank. Reason being, biggest I could get. And if I want another one, I could just stick it right next to that one. Whoa, I tripped over the trench. So here is the details of that. Again, same kind of propane riser. Propane company hooked this up, so they just did a reduce down to 3/4 and flex hose up into the tank. And I mean, that's really about it. One thing on propane tanks that you want to make sure you get, and mine did, the guy said it came by default, is a R3D ready gauge. Basically, it's got a little probe on it that allows you to hook up all various like smart things to your propane gauge to monitor propane pressure and whatnot. So I can buy a system that will hook that up to Wi-Fi and allow me to monitor the propane tank level so I know when I'm getting low. So be sure to make sure you have that before you get it installed, because it's harder later, certainly, but I think all of them do it by default now. It's not exactly new technology. Okay, here's the gate. And the gate trench, I'll show you what we got going on here. I don't know if I've even done a video on this thing. We got two things. On the right, we see the 3/4 pipe. That's that circuit I was telling you about. So right now we just have it wired to that outlet. And then I've got some more outlets in that middle box. And then on the left is the fiber line. There's that 1.5 inch conduit going in that box. In the big box, that's where the switch is going to be. So I'm going to have a power over Ethernet switch that gets fed by the fiber line, and that is going to power cameras up here at the gate, both kind of fixed cameras as well as a Ring doorbell cam for guests, right? So before they can get in the access the gate, they can ring the doorbell, let me know they're there, so I can open the gate for them. Eventually the gate will be automated, and so that's why we have the rack there, just to hold everything. So that is about it, guys. That's all for trenching. This is quite the ordeal, but actually, you know what? Bonus time, bonus content, because again, this is not enough for a full video, but I will show you because it kind of goes along with trenching, because my trenching guy is also my septic guy. So while he was here, he moved the control box for the septic. So I'm gonna walk you over here and show you. Pardon the mess. If you recall from the septic video, the septic controls and the doghouse and the pump were all mounted up by the tank. And pardon my overgrown grass, I haven't had time to mow. You notice they're gone now. So that looks a lot cleaner, right, in the yard with without this big old control box, you know, sticking up everywhere. So they moved it all the way over here. And we mounted it on the side of the house. So, in the electrical rough end, I can't remember if I talked about this, but I had my septic stubbing out here, just a 10-2 wire, 120 volt, 30 amp. I put a disconnect there and gave them that little stub out for 3/4, and then they connected their box into it. And so that's the septic control box, and along with the doghouse for the pump. So all this over here on the house side makes it look a lot nicer. So that was another thing that we had them do, just so I didn't have all that stuff out in the yard. So guys, I think that's it. That's trenching wrapped up. So we're making progress. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.